Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. A good look at BBVA Compass Stadium on a very warm June evening. It's the Houston Dynamo and Sporting Kansas City renewing pleasantries live from BBVA Compass Stadium. Good evening, Matt Peterson with you. A 6 p.m. kickoff, and the Dynamo and Kansas City meeting for the second straight time in the U.S. Open Cup. They met one round later last year in Kansas City, a 3-1 Sporting KC victory. They went on to the championship. In that game, the Dynamo held a 1-0 lead through a Will Bruin goal into the 70th minute. But Benny Feilhaber, Dom Dwyer, and Christian Nemeth scoring late. Luis Garrido got a red card at the half-hour mark for the Dynamo. And Kansas City, 4 straight record crowds at home. And then they won the U.S. Open Cup championship at Philadelphia on a penalty shootout. Their second U.S. Open Cup victory in 4 years and their third overall. For the Dynamo, they have a chance to get some revenge at home. They've been very good at home in this competition over the years. And Kansas City, in their 2 recent U.S. Open Cup runs, they've enjoyed some home cooking with only a few road wins needed in the later rounds. These teams met in early May at BBVA Compass Stadium in the regular season, a 2-0 Houston Dynamo victory. Goals from Giles Barnes and Andrew Wenger before halftime. And now they meet here tonight. Tonight marks the 22nd meeting between these teams in all competitions since 2011. Kansas City holding a slight advantage, 8 wins, 6 losses, and 7 ties. 5 playoff games from 2011 to 13. They met 4 times last year. Longtime rivals now in the Western Conference. How'd these teams get here? Well, the Dynamo had a comfortable 4-0 win against San Antonio FC back on June 15th. Their first ever meeting against the new USL club owned and operated by San Antonio Spurs Sports and Entertainment. 4 different goal scorers. Mar Manotas was the opening goal scorer as he continues his strong play in the Open Cup. Much more difficult for Sporting Kansas City. They had to go on the road to Minnesota United, and they ended up winning after extra time. Diego Rubio scoring the winner 3 minutes after coming on as a substitute. Sporting KC pushed to the limit by a team that will join MLS in the next year or 2. Both teams played this weekend. The Dynamo A difficult 3-2 loss at Portland, a 2-0 halftime lead. And Portland scoring 3 late goals, including a penalty in stoppage time. Kansas City a 2-2 draw at Montreal, and they carry some good form into this game. We'll take our only break when we come back. Starting lineups and kickoff. It's the Houston Dynamo in Sporting Kansas City in the U.S. Open Cup round of 16.
Professional player. It's something I dreamed of as a kid. Coming out of the tunnel for the first time, it was incredible. The only thing I think about was trying to find my dad in the crowd. That was my way of settling my nerves. He's my mentor, my hero. It was that moment that I realized this is my dream and this is my chance to grasp it.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
They're prehistoric. They've been extinct for millions of years. They're at the Houston Zoo this summer. Dinosaurs at the Houston Zoo. Journey back in time and come face to face with these massive creatures, from the feathered Utahraptor and towering Brachiosaurus to the mighty T-Rex. These dinosaurs move, roar, and even spit water. For details, go to houstonzoo.org and hurry to the Houston Zoo this summer before this exhibit goes extinct.
Cable, insurance, electricity. What the?
Sometimes, looking at your energy bill can be like getting hit on the head with a soccer ball. Discover how much you could save by switching to Frontier Utilities. It's the same electricity you have now for less.
Nice. Oh! I don't think I need you this month, Luis.
Oh, very good.
Frontier Utilities, a proud sponsor of the Houston Dynamo.
All right, come on, everybody. It's time to go. Come on. Who's excited for the zoo today?
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings, pure and simple. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. Just a few minutes from kickoff, the Houston Dynamo hosting Sporting Kansas City. Longtime rivals in the regular season and the postseason. 22nd meeting between these clubs since 2011. Both managers fielding strong lineups. Hermes, longtime manager of Sporting KC. Wade Barrett, the interim head coach for the Houston Dynamo, picked up his first win against San Antonio FC, still seeking his first win in regular season play. First for Sporting Kansas City, very good lineup. Alec Can gets his second straight start in the Open Cup. Kansas City acquired him in the re-entry draft, the Georgia native, now 25 years of age. The back four from right to left looks like this: Ellis, Olam, Beasler, and Madronda. Beasler is back with Kansas City. It's his first game since playing for the U.S. at the Copa America Centenario. 3 in midfield, 2 in the defensive role. Should give more of a attacking license for Benny Feilhaber, but it's familiar names. Roger Espinosa and Sony Mustavar, 2 mainstays for Peter Vermees. 3 up front. Diego Rubio is the big one to watch. He scored in this competition in the last round in his U.S. Open Cup debut, just moments after coming on. And his loan ends at the end of this month, so just a few days from now. So he has maybe one last audition. According to reports, the negotiations between Sporting Kansas City and his parent club, Real Valladolid, in the Spanish Segunda Division, is going very well, so a good opportunity for him to stay, but one last chance to really make a final impression on Kansas City. Now the lineup for the Houston Dynamo. Joe Willis gets another start in goal, a clean sheet against San Antonio FC on the 15th. Similar lineup to that game as well for the Dynamo. Back four from right to left. Williams, David Horace will the captain's armband tonight. Agus Garcia, the left back, Abdoulaye Mansali. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Wade Barrett, David Rocha, and Alex Lima, the two holding midfielders. The attacking three from right to left, Andrew Wenger, Chaco Maidana, and Lionel Miranda. Up front, Mauro Manotas. Similar to Rubio, a youngster, just 20 years of age. He scored the opening goal against San Antonio FC, also scored in his first Dynamo start at this round last year against Colorado Rapids. That was the winning goal. He scored 3 times in 2 Charities Cup games. When he gets starts, he oftentimes scores. Our referee is Alan Chapman, veteran MLS referee. Very good chance we're going to have a hydration break around the 30th minute. A very warm week here in Houston, Texas. Currently 90 degrees, and with humidity, it feels like 100. Abdoulaye Mansali making his Dynamo Open Cup debut. DeMarcus Beasley started and captained the team against San Antonio FC. Here we go. It's the round of 16 from Houston. David Horace wearing the captain's armband for the second time with the Dynamo. Also wore it against Colorado at this stage in the Open Cup last year. Mustavar. And early touches for Diego Rubio, 23 years of age. From Santiago, Chile, came up in the Colo Colo Youth Academy. New sod placed at BBVA Compass Stadium following the Houston Dash game a week and a half ago. So much rain here in Houston, Texas. About 38 inches this year alone. And a good majority of that falling in April and May and early parts of June. So it was a quick installation. Got it done in about a week. And this is the first game on the new sod here in Houston, Texas. Feilhaber tried to find Rubio. And all the way back to Joe Willis, who keeps it alive. Willis, a big part of DC United's run to the Open Cup title in 2014. Gets his second straight start in the Open Cup for the Dynamo. Had to come on at halftime at Portland on Sunday after Tyler Derrick suffered hydration. And a very questionable penalty call from Hilario Grajeda gave Portland a late penalty and a late winner. Lawrence Olam. Here's Beasler, his first game back. I think teams will go very direct. This field still taking shape after the sod was placed this week. And with the heat, 90 degrees with humidity at kickoff, we might see some direct soccer this evening. Horst and Agus split wide across the Dynamo back line. Chaco Maidana. Too far in front of Miranda. Mustavar. Had the clearance blocked, second effort away, and out for a Dynamo throw-in. Got the year wrong with Joe Willis. It was 2013, of course. And United made their unexpected run to the Open Cup title, winning at Real Salt Lake in the final. Willis some big stops and a penalty shootout along the way. Here's Olam. Ellis forward, Mansally right back over midfield. David Rocha lost it to Mustavar. Graham Zusi, his first game back after the Copa America Centenario. Failhaber, good ball. Zusi in behind. An opportunity for Kansas City just beyond Rubio. Well defended by Horst. And Zusi immediately have an impact here in the first 4 minutes. The initial ball came from Failhaber. Here comes Kansas City once more. Here's Connor Hallisey. Well defended by Horst. It's a Dynamo goal kick. It's a rare road game in the Open Cup for Kansas City of late. They went to Minnesota, won after extra time on Rubio's winning goal. But last year, record crowds from the round of 32 all the way through the semifinals as they won 4 home games in convincing fashion. They won the final at Philadelphia, though, so they earned it in the championship. As Horst goes towards the corner, Chaco Maidana. Now Miranda. Dynamo have had a lot of good success on this left side, particularly since Wade Barrett took over beginning at the end of May at Vancouver. Miranda, wide left, Chaco Maidana, 3 in the box. Pulls it back, Lima went down after a heavy touch, a goal kick to Kansas City. First half in Portland, it was Alex Lima, Boniek Garcia, and DeMarcus Beasley having their way with Alvis Powell, who was subbed in the second half. Some very skillful players. Beasley went 90 minutes, as did Boniek Garcia. They are not in the starting lineup tonight. Talked to Wade Barrett before the game. He said it was difficult decisions on his lineup. Many of the players that started at Portland on Sunday wanted to play today. It was tough decisions for him. Wanted to put the best team on the field with the chance to win. Had to leave a few guys out that asked to be in the starting lineup. The 3 holdovers that started on Saturday are David Horst, who wears the captain's armband, Alex Lima, and Andrew Wenger. Wenger scored a great goal, the opener at Portland on Sunday. Agus. Good settle by Maidana. Here's Miranda. Lima, good skill to shake out of that one. 1 versus 2, still on the ball. Lima. Dynamo with 4 orange shirts near the corner flag. Mansally, good ball to the middle, and it's Mauro Manotas to open the scoring. 7 minutes in, the Dynamo grab the lead. What a finish from Manotas, who does it again. His little brother in the crowd, 11-year-old Christian Manotas. And the Dynamo continuing to push things down that left side. They get their left back, Abdoulaye Mansally, involved. And a wonderful ball from Mansally. Manotas, the opening goal in back-to-back Open Cup games. Wonderful build-up from Houston. And a great run from 20-year-old Mauro Manotas. Third Open Cup goal. One against Colorado last year. The opener against San Antonio in the middle of June. And now the big one here against Kansas City. For the second straight year, the Dynamo grabbed the 1-0 lead against Kansas City. And this time they have a home game to protect it, as Maidana forces a save from Alec Can. So the Dynamo not content. After the opener, they push for the seconds. Last year, the game was scoreless into the 59th minute when Will Bruin stabbed home from about 4 yards after a Dynamo set piece. And Kansas City broke through with 3 goals between the 71st and 88th minutes for the 3-1 win. And that play all began with Alex Lima riding out of a challenge, 1 versus 2 in front of the Kansas City bench. Horst heads backward. Willis makes the claim in front of Rubio. Manotas still hasn't scored in a regular season game for the Dynamo. Has not started a match since joining the club middle of last May. And that's his 6th in other competitions, 3 official competitions, the Open Cup. He scored 3 times in the Charities Cup against quality opposition, one against Real Sociedad about a month ago and 2 goals last year against Santos Laguna. He was on the field before the game, giving his younger brother Christian a tour. His younger brother wearing a Manotas jersey. Good return ball from Miranda. Maidana's in, he pulls it wide. Should have done better from 15 yards. And the Dynamo looking very good here in the first 10 minutes. Great return pass from Lino Miranda, one Argentine to the other. Maidana got it all wrong, using that preferred left foot. Dynamo ready to play in this heat. Kansas City looking a bit shell-shocked, but a lot of experience on the field. Some deep runs from these Kansas City teams, and many of the players on the field tonight have been a part of it. They've used a lot of A-type players through most of the last few tournaments. As Feilhaber finds an overlapping Zusi. Zusi back towards the spot, cleared by Rocha. Zusi wanted to give it right back to Feilhaber. Espinosa. Zusi was fouled by Miranda. The trailing back leg. This is Zusi's 12th appearance in his career in the Open Cup. For Beasler, his 16th, 13th appearance for Espinosa. Some depth on the bench tonight as well. Myers. Not part of the 18, but he's appeared 16 times. Jacob Peterson, 14. Kansas City, 2 Open Cup titles in the last 4 seasons. Feilhaber. Benson headed away by Horst. Now Madranda throws it in. Chested down Rubio. Cleared Rocha. Feilhaber. Good switching ball. Madranda cuts inside on Williams. Well defended by Shannon Williams. Williams, a starter basically from the moment he arrived from Philadelphia Union last July, but suffered a hamstring injury in preseason this year. Ani Baba was the opening day starter. By the time Williams got a chance, only limited action. Ani Baba's been the preferred starter under Wade Barrett, but Williams starts for the 2nd straight time in the Open Cup. Now a long throw in from Beasler. A missile, just straight line from Matt Beasler. Well cleared by the Dynamo. Good pressure from Wenger against Espinosa. The Dynamo I know this long throw-in. 22nd game between these teams since 2011. Rubio gets his head on that, laid back by Zusi. Not far enough for Hallisey. Maidana with the half clearance. And then Mansally wins a throw-in. That's the first assist for Abdoulaye Mansally, acquired in a trade this preseason from Real Salt Lake. Roger Espinosa, very speculative effort that time, about 35 yards away, did not test Joe Willis. Here was Kansas City's run last year. Round of 32, they beat St. Louis FC 1-0. And they smashed FC Dallas 4-0. Dom Dwyer had 4 of those goals. They beat the Dynamo 3-1 in the quarterfinals, then Real Salt Lake 3-1 in the semifinals. It's a direct ball over the top. Agus heads it wide to Horst. Appeals for a handball. It is given, and a free kick now for Kansas City. 1-1 after extra time and a 7-6 win in the shootout for KC last year. But 2 away games total in their last 2 Open Cup runs to the championship. One in 2012 at Philadelphia, and the championship at Philadelphia last year. Everything else has been at home. And give Kansas City credit. They've played very well at home in this competition. Now Feilhaber, Kansas City's all-time Open Cup assist leader with 6, stands over it. Dangerous set piece to defend for the Dynamo. Willis contending with the shadows as well. Horst on Olam. Agus Garcia on Rubio. Olam got his head to it. Manotas runs it down, and he'll concede a throw-in. Now the long throw-in for Beasler. A Dynamo had their record 36-game home unbeaten streak ended on a Kansas City long throw-in, but it was from the hands of Sestanovic. Beasler towards the spot. That's a dangerous one, headed away by Horst. Now Maidana nods it on Miranda. Miranda tries to cut it back. Beasler defending well in front of the Dynamo bench. Free kick Houston. Now was headed in by Aurelia and Collin. May of 2013. Feilhaber helping out, and then Beasler forced to foul Miranda. Alex Lima. Miranda back to Maidana. Around Mustavar. Here's Miranda with the chance. Lays it back. Manotas pulls it wide. The Colombian could have had number 2. Wonderful passing from the Dynamo. Good vision from Lina Miranda to pick out Manotas. He's very good with his left foot, but that time maybe rushed it just a bit. Scored a left-footed goal against San Antonio FC from the top of the box. Wonderful left-footed finish after a long run against Real Sociedad in the Charities Cup. He'll turn 21 in July. Part of the Colombia U20 national team, which reached the U20 South American Championships. Madronda pushing forward. An offensive-minded left back for Kansas City. Receives it in the box on his left, and he wins a corner kick. '22-year-old Colombian, Jimmy Madronda. It's Hallisey and Feilhaber to play it short from the corner flag. Good delivery, and it's headed over the bar. That was Mustavar. Sony Mustavar, more of a defensive midfielder, but he's been a regular. His 7th Open Cup game in 2 seasons for Peter Vermees. 12 caps now with the Haiti national team for the man born in France. And a wonderful record for Kansas City last year. They were 15-5-6 when Sony Mustavar started a game in all competitions. And later named SKC Co-Defender of the Year last year. Willis with the goal kick. Madronda now. Mustavar been playing a lot of minutes of late, 90 minutes on the weekend at Montreal, a 2-2 draw. Played all 120 minutes at Minnesota United back on June 15th. Dynamo in a 4-2-3-1 formation tonight. They've been using a 4-1-4-1 formation, mostly under Wade Barrett. But Colin Warner, 90 minutes on Sunday. Rocha, a fresh option to partner alongside Alex Lima. And just basically with the best personnel available, this was the freshest lineup Wade Barrett could field. Ball stays in on the new sod here in Houston. Rubio cuts it inside against Mansally. Poor pass from Feilhaber. But Rocha gives it right back. Here's Espinosa. Espinosa took a deflection on its way through, and the offside flag came up, but it's just a goal kick. And they'll move it up to the offside line. Wenger challenges Espinosa. Both men go down. Madronda trying to find the feet of Rubio. Well defended by David Rocha. He may have been fouled. And a delayed call from Alan Jetman, our referee. Dynamo have never won the U.S. Open Cup. Twice semifinalists. Most recently, 2009, they lost to the Seattle Sounders after extra time. And then in 2006, a semifinal defeat to the LA Galaxy. Agus, Miranda, another good pass for the feet of Manotas. That's great from the Dynamo as Lima goes over the top for Miranda. Zusi, good cut, but Miranda, great work rate to win it back. Here's Chaco Maidana. He pulls that one well wide. Not knowing for goal scoring is Chaco Maidana. But under previous head coach Owen Coyle, asked to try to take more scoring opportunities, and confident take from 25 yards out, spilled well wide. Playing the central number 10 position today underneath Mar Manotas. He's primarily played on the left side of a 4-1-4-1 under Wade Barrett. Exclusively played central under Owen Coyle, but he drifts wide so much it almost makes sense to start him wide left. But today he's central with Miranda on the left, Wenger on the right. He's the central man in a 4-2-3-1. Another good pass from Miranda. He's off to a good start tonight. Maidana works hard to win it back. Wenger has an overlapping Williams. Here's Wenger with his left, and he pulls it high. Dynamo very confident getting the outside backs involved. It was Abdoulaye Mansally on the assist. This time it's Williams giving Wenger an option. But Wenger, after a well-taken goal in the first half at Portland Sunday, goes with his left there. A Dynamo with a more fortunate draw. They've had it go as well as possible. A home game against San Antonio FC last round. If the Dynamo win tonight, they'll host the quarterfinals in July. Kansas City comes from behind to win this game. They would also host the quarterfinals. The other game is being played tonight. FC Dallas and the Colorado Rapids. Winner of tonight's game will play the winner of that game. And then a new draw for the semifinal and final hosts. David Rocha. Good run from Manotas. Came off the shoulder of Beasler, but Madronda recovers well. One Colombian against another, and it's a Dynamo throw-in. Now Williams, an option for a long throw-in. Wenger had his head down. Fights to win it back. Wenger's onside. Madronda went down early. Second ball good, clearing header from Matt Beasler. Chaco Maidana. And Miranda, who'd been so good in the first 20 minutes or so, connecting passes, just a bit off with that one. Only one other game significantly underway. That's the New York Red Bulls leading Philadelphia 1-0 at PPL Park. Union lost the championship game at home last year. Twice in the last 3 years, they've lost the final. Orlando and Fort Lauderdale strikers just underway from Orlando. Two NASL clubs in this round of 16, the New York Cosmos and Fort Lauderdale. Ellis over the top. Mansally. Clears with his right foot, but it's right to Sony Mustavar. Comfortable possession here from Kansas City. Espinosa wide left, Connor Hallisey. Hallisey a 1-2 with Espinosa. Good ball to the near post, and it somehow stays out. What a finish that would have been from Diego Rubio. But Willis makes a wonderful save as Rubio comes very close. Great ball, good finish, and an even better save from Joe Willis going to his left. You see the skill in front of goal from Diego Rubio, the 23-year-old Chilean. Failhaber to the near post, cleared by Mansally as it went underneath the feet of Roger Espinosa. Willis not called into action much against San Antonio FC in the round of 32, but a big save there midway through this first half. Failhaber towards the spot, headed out by Rocha. Madronda will run it down on the far side. First time delivery, pretty good ball. Ellis was first to it. I think Mansally or Manotas was able to clear. Now the Dynamo a chance to counterattack. Wonderful ball from Lima. Miranda 1 versus 3 has Chaco Maidana right behind him. And then Miranda dribbled right into the feet of Beasler. Perfectly weighted outlet pass from Alex Lima there to give Miranda a chance to run onto it. Entertaining first 27 minutes. The Heat has not slowed this game down too much. And the opening goal from Manotas certainly helped open things up. Advantage played after Miranda was taken down. Maidana back to Lima. Good hustle from Graham Zusi, who started the game against Argentina as the U.S. lost in the semifinals. Mansally. I think he was trying a switching ball for Wenger, but it went right to the goalkeeper. Alec Can, 25-year-old, played at Furman University. A couple years with Chicago Fire. Prior to that, Charleston Battery, the Charlotte Eagles. And Can gets his second straight Open Cup start. Kevin Ellis. Zusi, good settle. Good position from Horst. The Dynamo captain tonight. Mansally. Good dummy run that time from Maidana. He's around Olam. Has Minotis towards the back post. Maidana with his head up for Minotis. And a saving tackle, Jimmy Madronda. Huge play that time. That was the third chance for Minotis, but unable to get a shot away. Incisive tackle from the young Colombian. Very entertaining game here in Houston. We're not even at the half-hour mark. Chances on both sides. Madronda, known for his offensive prowess from the left back position, but that time solid defending, helping out the center backs after Minotis drifted behind Beasler. Really smart run from Minotis, but Madronda did enough. Now Espinosa finds Feilhaber. Connor Hallisey. Espinosa. Zusi. Away from Agus. Another good spell of possession for Sporting KC. Zusi. Too long for Feilhaber. And there is our cooling break. The threshold was 82 degrees, including the heat index, and it was taken, the temperature reading was taken after warm-up. So we'll have our cooling break here tonight, as we did June 15th for the San Antonio FC game. Typically somewhere between 90 seconds to 3 minutes. The clock will continue, and they'll add the time to first half stoppage time. A good opportunity to take you through a few games underway in the U.S. Open Cup tonight. A few games last night, the majority staged this evening. As we said, Red Bulls leading Philadelphia Union 1-0, 33 minutes gone from PPL Park. Mike Grella does it again. 17th minute goal. 10 minutes gone from Orlando, a scoreless game. Last night, Chicago beat Columbus 2-1. Chicago's usually good for a pretty good run in the eastern side of the bracket. Of course, 4 times they've won this competition. David Accam scoring twice inside the first half hour. Ethan Finley, a late penalty for Columbus as Chicago advances to the quarterfinals. Real Salt Lake put out a very good lineup. Seattle a bit wounded after a 2-0 home loss to NYCFC on Saturday. They went on the road and they win at Real Salt Lake. So Salt Lake really overcame a huge upset last round against Wilmington, scoring twice late and winning on penalties. This time they lose on penalties. Hercules Gomez, Jordan Morris, Zach Scott, and Eric Freeberg converting. Kyle Beckerman and Joao Plata both saved by Tyler Miller, who made 8 saves on the night. Not counting the penalties. So Salt Lake, another team that consistently goes deep in this competition. They go down at home last night. New York Cosmos hosting New England, 6:30 Central Time. FC Dallas in Colorado, that's the big one for the Dynamo and Sporting Kansas City fans. As we've said, the winner of that match will visit the winner of tonight's match in the quarterfinals, July 19th or 20th. Vancouver Whitecaps FC, they're hosting Toronto FC in the Amway Canadian Championship. Later on, and Portland Timbers hosting the LA Galaxy. That's the last game of the night. Back in play after about a 2-minute hydration break. Madronda. Feilhaber. Diego Rubio. Good pressure by the Dynamo. They had 4 orange shirts around him, and it's a Dynamo throw-in. Rubio, a goal, the game winner at Minnesota 3 minutes after entering in the extra time. Was acquired on March 8th as a young designated player from Real Valladolid in the Segunda Division of Spain. Dynamo 2 players on the field from Segunda A. David Rocha in the center of midfield and Agus Garcia, both with experience in Segunda A, as Espinosa heads inside for Sony Mustavar. Hard tackle by Agus, and then Williams into it with Mustavar, and Willis does well to keep it in play. Beasler wins that header. It's out for a Dynamo throw-in. Marmanotis, the opening goal from an Abdoulaye Mansali pinpoint cross. 7th minute goal, that's the difference. Both teams with some good firepower on the bench. As Williams lofts it towards the corner, Olam will settle in front of Manotis. And the Kenyan native up the left sideline. Confident back heel that time from Espinosa. Hallisey expected a run from Zusi, didn't get it. Here come the Dynamo. Chaco Maidana. Lima. Wenger wanted support from Williams, gets it from Maidana. Here's David Rocha. Rocha 2 assists against San Antonio FC. The first, a flicked header to the back post that found Lima for the second goal right before halftime, and then a beautiful set-piece delivery. And fellow Spaniard headed it into goal for the third goal in a 4-0 Dynamo win. His first 2 assists with the Dynamo, only 4 appearances in regular season play this year for David Rocha. Good ball from Feilhaber in front of Zusi. Good hustle back from Abdoulaye Mansali. And good cover again from Rocha. The Dynamo have had good numbers in the critical parts of the field when Kansas City has looked good for an opportunity on goal. That time it was Rocha shifting left, clogging up a passing lane after some good footwork from Graham Zusi. We mentioned the options off the bench for both teams. For the Dynamo, Giles Barnes and Will Bruin. Bruin going about 84 minutes on Sunday. Barnes did not play the last 2 games. Achilles tendinopathy prevented him from playing at Portland. We'll see if he takes part tonight. Of course, Dom Dwyer, who has been a constant pain for the Dynamo over the years, scored 1 of the 3 goals last year. A winning goal in the quarterfinals of the Open Cup. He is on the bench, has played a lot of minutes lately, along with other options such as former Dynamo captain Brad Davis and Jacob Peterson. Espinosa finds Kevin Ellis. Good cutback ball, dummied that time from Rubio. An amazing hustle from Rocha, who ran it down in front of Zusi. So the Dynamo doing the defensive work in this first half, tracking back, defending in numbers against this Kansas City attack. There's Lima. Good switching ball from Rocha. Wenger almost overran it, then he took it down with his chest. Out wide against Madronda. Gets a forward run from Manotis. Good read of the play from Beasler. Been a pretty open game, this. We've had some cagey affairs between these teams over the years. Connor Hallisey against Williams. A few step overs. Hallisey towards the end line. Good, dangerous ball once again. Not too far in front of Zusi. It was Hallisey who set up Diego Rubio, Kansas City's best chance so far, but a wonderful save by Willis going to his left. Now a careless giveaway for Mansally, who wins it back. Agus takes no chances, clearing out near Wade Barrett. Beasler. Played left back in the third place game against Colombia for the United States. Back in his more natural center back position, partnering Lawrence Olam tonight. Zusi. Missed trap by Espinosa, but the Dynamo have been working so hard defensively, they don't have the legs to counterattack. Here comes Mustavar. Failhaber. Madranda just crushed it. And some of his teammates asking what was the plan there. Mustavar hand spread wide at the PK spot. Rubio a hard run towards the front of the 6. He wanted a ball to that near post. Dynamo 10-9-1 all-time in the Open Cup. They've had trouble with the MLS competition over the years. They beat Colorado at this stage last year, but then lost in Kansas City. 2014, they beat Laredo Heat in the third round, but lost against FC Dallas at home. A wild game, 3-2 after extra time. It was right at the end of the World Cup break. Tesho Akindelli scoring the game winner in that one. 2013, the Dynamo lost at FC Dallas, a 3-0 win for Dallas. Mustavar right through the middle. Some space now for Ellis. Plenty room to serve, but Mansally took a gamble that time and it worked out as the cross close enough for him to head away. Bad giveaway that time from Rocha. Espinosa working with Failhaber. Wenger tracking back defensively, and then Espinosa's pass beyond a flat-footed Connor Hallisey. Wenger missed trap. Hallisey, but a hard tackle from Horst. It's been that kind of game physically from the Dynamo. These teams not afraid to mix it up. I believe Kansas City had 25 fouls the night. They ended the Dynamo's 36-game home unbeaten streak here in May of 2013. 3 straight playoff encounters between these teams. Kansas City beating the Dynamo in 2013 on the way to their MLS Cup title. Just a slugfest in the first leg of that series. Both teams on short rest. It ended 0-0. As Williams lost out to Hallisey, referee lets them play. Hallisey, a good ball once more, and Agus ready to clear. It's been Connor Hallisey 3 times now making a play on that left side and then playing a ball towards the top of the 6, looking for Rubio, and Agus was well positioned there. Sustained pressure from Kansas City here at the end of the first half, but the Dynamo lead here with a few minutes plus stoppage through Mauro Manotas, his 2nd Open Cup goal in as many games, his 3rd career Dynamo goal in this competition. Espinosa. Miranda had a good angle against Kevin Ellis. It's a throw-in Ellis also a candidate for the long throw-in. As Beasler looks towards the bench, and Peter Vermees, I think, encourages Ellis to take it, and he does. Now it's Espinosa, time for a cross. Goes low instead, it's right to the feet of Mansally. Now it's Miranda, can the Dynamo counterattack here at the end of the half? Manotas, good feet in traffic, works it back to Rocha. Wenger pushing forward on the right side. Dynamo trying on this left. Maidana, back to Mansally, he slips away from Zusi. Maidana for Rocha. Wenger making a run forward, as is Manotas. Flag stays down. But I think Manotas was involved enough in the play as our far side referee raised the flag in the end. I think Manotas stopped his run, but as soon as he continued towards goal, that made him an active participant, and the flag came up. I don't think Wenger was offside. Feilhaber. Very entertaining first half. Chances on both sides. Big save from Willis against Diego Rubio. Manotas, a well-taken goal, had another chance with his left foot. He pulled wide. Pretty even, I would say. Dynamo with maybe one or two more of the better chances, but Kansas City's controlled the tempo for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Lawrence Olam. Good work from the Dynamo. Miranda first the turnover. Got it back from Lima, but then it's Zusi with the win. Feilhaber finds the pocket. Tries to slip it to Rubio. The Chilean tries the back heel for Feilhaber, and Lima does well once again. Whiffed clearance that time from Rocha. Feilhaber into the box. Zusi's in. Good save from Willis. Second big stop from Joe Willis, and that would have been backbreaking at the end of the first half to concede at home. A good position and a hit Zusi on the way out, so it's a Dynamo goal kick. Hits him on the left elbow. So Willis up to the task, going to his left on the Rubio chance early on, that time just staying big while going to the ground. And blocking Zusi, who had a good first touch to put him in a position to score. Now in first half stoppage time, 3 minutes will be added on. That includes the hydration break. Rubio, very physical challenge against Horst, and it's a Dynamo restart. Rubio on loan from Valladolid in Spain. 2 goals, 10 appearances, all competitions with Kansas City this year. Some big time experience in Spain. 6 times he's played in the Europa League for Sporting Clube de Portugal. A lot of time with their B team as well. Good nutmeg from Manotas against Sony Mustavar. See the confidence from Manotas. He tried it there from 30 yards in a difficult angle, blocked by Beasler. Here's Miranda. Horst now. Williams with Leo Miranda. Wenger plays it behind Leo. Horst heads away. Hallisey for Sporting KC. Feilhaber, switching ball, picks out Ellis. Good first touch against Miranda. Ellis! Just beyond the near post. Tried the upper corner. Homegrown player nearly found it. 24-year-old Kansas City native. Ellis turns 25 tomorrow. Miranda could not keep up with him as Ellis moved to his left. First time we've really seen Ellis involved. Madronda been very much a part of the attack on the left side for Sporting KC. And there's our halftime whistle. Very good show here in Houston. You have to admire the players in this heat. 90 degrees plus significant humidity, and they really gave it a good effort in the first 45 minutes. Halftime from BBVA Compass Stadium through Mauro Manotas in his second U.S. Open Cup goal in as many games this year. The Dynamo lead the reigning U.S. Open Cup and three-time Open Cup champions, Sporting Kansas City. We have a lot of pre-planned programming at halftime, some video content for you. We'll be back with the second half kickoff in about 15 minutes. Halftime score from BBVA Compass Stadium. It's the Dynamo 1, Sporting Kansas City nothing.
Join the Houston Dash for Pride Night on Saturday, July 16th.
My first ever goal was to become a professional player. It's something I dreamed of as a kid. Coming out of the tunnel for the first time, it was incredible. The only thing I think about was trying to find my dad in the crowd. That was my way of settling my nerves. He's my mentor, my hero. It was that moment that I realized this is my dream and this is my chance to grasp it.
Who says success doesn't happen overnight? That's exactly when it happens. Night after night after night. Smoke 9. It took 9 iterations to perfect, and it's finally here. Wingstop, get at it.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
We are at Kids Meals, and we are just helping prepare meals for preschool kids in the Houston greater area.
Kids Meals, we're the only Meals on Wheels program for preschool kids in the entire nation. Our mission is to make sure these kids are fed and don't go hungry, and we have to have volunteers do this. And without these people making the sandwiches, helping us pack them, helping deliver them, we really would not be able to get this food to these kids that are so hungry and that desperately need it. So we're so appreciative of our volunteers.
For anyone, it's important to give back, and I think it's been a great experience for all of us, and we're just trying to do our part to help out. Try to have a little bit of fun with it, but above all, it's just about helping out and doing what we can do to contribute.
Es importante para mí porque creo que es bonito, ¿no? y bueno ayudar a los más pequeños, a gente que no tiene recursos y que nosotros, gracias a Dios, estamos en una situación que nos permite ayudar, poder sacar una sonrisa a los más pequeños y ya te digo que es un verdadero placer, ¿no? Poder ayudar a los más pequeños para que tengan una mejor vida.
Any hungry mouth that we can help feed is a great thing, and like I said, we're happy to be here and we're happy to help the community in any way we can.
Strategy, stuff as many sandwiches as fast as you can. That's about all.
I just try not to think. This is easier than just play soccer.
It's a really, really good experience. I am the employee of the month. I am the best guy making sandwiches.
It's just a really sweet experience and awesome to see where all these volunteer hours go to these little hands, these little mouths that really have no way to help themselves.
Working with the Houston Astros to pioneer less invasive treatments for shoulder injuries. Using advanced training programs to help the Houston Dynamo and Dash avoid injury. And using innovative healing techniques to get the Houston Texans back on the field faster. Working with elite athletes to better treat the everyday athlete. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
They're prehistoric. They've been extinct for millions of years. They're at the Houston Zoo this summer. Dinosaurs at the Houston Zoo. Journey back in time and come face to face with these massive creatures, from the feathered Utahraptor and towering Brachiosaurus to the mighty T-Rex. These dinosaurs move, roar, and even spit water. For details, go to houstonzoo.org and hurry to the Houston Zoo this summer before this exhibit goes extinct.
Rising before the sun is easy when you love your work. It's done every day by the thousands of electricians at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716. We train hard, show up on time, and feel responsible for the work we do. We live by our word. There are no excuses, because customers and Houston's community deserve that. IBEW, where skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor isn't all that skilled. The time is now to hire IBEW electricians.
CenterPoint Energy, we're giving you more tips on natural gas safety.
Before digging in my yard, I always call 811 to have my utility lines marked to avoid service interruptions or injury. It's better to call 811 now than 911 later. And if I ever suspect a gas leak, I leave the area immediately, and then I call CenterPoint Energy and 911 from a safe, remote location. Really?
Your safety is in your hands and always on our mind, because you are at the center of everything we do. CenterPoint Energy. Always there.
All right, come on, everybody. It's time to go. Come on. Who's excited for the zoo today?
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings, pure and simple. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
This group of guys, now that you have, do you judge them based on now when you're taking the team over, or do you have a lot of preconceived when you were an assistant coach? Because an assistant coaching role, as we all know, sometimes you're a little bit more friendly with the players as opposed to the head coach. How does that dynamic work, and does everybody have a clean slate now since you've taken over? In your mind, do you need to do that?
I think I've done a good job, even in the interim, of using the people that are around me to approach, things going forward. It is difficult because I do have some judgments on the team and the players, but that is based on what has been asked of them in the past. I'm asking some different questions of them now. I'm telling them specifically what I want, and I do feel like I need to give every single player a chance listen to exactly what I'm asking and to see if they can apply it in the way that I think is best for the team. So in a sense, yeah, the players are getting a fresh look. But you know, and it'll be necessary for me to get that correct moving forward, because I want to try to get this group right here, every player that's in the Dynamo jersey now, I want to try to get more from. But you know, it's the nature of things that over time, you know, there will be changes to the roster, and the summer's coming up. We'll have to look and see if there's a way that we can make the team better. But my immediate approach is, what can I get from this group right now, this group of players?
Do you think your players realize, number one, you're an ultra marathoner, number two, realize the career of discipline and commitment that you had, and the extra work that you put in away from the cameras and the eyes, because that's what made Wade Barrett the player. From this commentator's perspective, there were some incredible intangibles that you possess. Do you think they realize that with you, and that they know that, wow, I better start paying attention to all these other things that sort of mirror what my manager's about? You talk about diet, you talk about taking care of yourself, you talk about getting every ounce of sweat equity out of a player you possibly can. This is Wade Barrett, and if I'm a player, I'm figuring that out pretty quick.
Yeah, I've probably tried to hide my my running career from the players a little bit, so they might not know a whole lot about that. But Glenn, we will all get to know each other better. I want the players to get to know more about me, but that's not me standing in front of them and telling all these things. You know, I think even in the short amount of time that I've been in front of them as the head coach, I think they've gotten to know a little bit more about me. So, but again, that will be throughout the entire group. I want us all to get to know each other a little bit better. I want everyone to get to know the staff better. I want to get to know the players a little bit better, know the things that I can maybe push them on and the things that maybe I need to pull back from. I think there can be a greater level of teamwork as far as that goes. But you know, it will never be about me or what I've done. It will all be about the team and us trying to learn more about each other and get the most out of each other.
Cable, insurance, electricity. What the?
Sometimes, looking at your energy bill can be like getting hit on the head with a soccer ball. Discover how much you could save by switching to Frontier Utilities. It's the same electricity you have now for less.
Nice. Oh! I don't think I need you this month, Luis. Oh, very good.
Frontier Utilities, a proud sponsor of the Houston Dynamo.
Join the Houston Dash for Pride Night on Saturday, July 16th.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability. developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
Who says success doesn't happen overnight? That's exactly when it happens. Night after night after night. Smoke 9. It took 9 iterations to perfect, and it's finally here. Wingstop, get at it.
Welcome back inside BBVA Compass Stadium at the start of the second half. Houston Dynamo leading Sporting Kansas City 1-0 through a 7th-minute goal from Mauro Manotas. Matt Peterson back with you here as teams get set for the second half. A great finish from Mauro Manotas off a beautiful cross from Abdoulaye Mansali as the Dynamo found some joy down the left side. They had 4 in the corner, basically beyond the, or in the final 18 yards, I should say, of the attacking half. And it was Mansali, the left back, getting on with the final ball, had space to serve, and a perfectly timed run from Manotas and a confident finish. We will have one change. It's Jalil Anibaba replacing Abdoulaye Mansali. So a right back with some center back experience comes on for the left back, Abdoulaye Mansali. I'd imagine Shannon Williams will shift to the left back position. He's a more natural fullback. So just one change at halftime. And we'll try to find out if that's injury related or just Mansali needing a break after 45 minutes in this intense Houston heat and humidity. So Mansali gone after 45 minutes. He did provide the assist, his first in his first season with the Dynamo, setting up Manotas, his second goal in as many Open Cup games in this competition. Something is delaying the start of this one. I think it's Alec Khan not leaving the towel near his goalpost all the way off the field. So it's off the field and we're underway in the second half. Alan Chapman, our referee, gets us going. A Dynamo 45 minutes away from potential, not an upset, but ending the run of the reigning champions, Sporting Kansas City. 2 titles in the last 4 seasons. And the Dynamo with a second half lead, but they had a lead like this later in the game in Kansas City, but under different circumstances last year. Luis Garrido, a 30th minute red card for a hard tackle in midfield. The Dynamo had to defend down a man with a Non-ideal lineup. Some players out of position. Here come the Dynamo. Manotas dribbling past Ellis. Wenger open on this near side. Good spin from Rocha. On that night, the Dynamo used Taylor Hunter, a rookie at left back. They used A.J. Cochran on that night as well. It was a makeshift lineup for Owen Coyle as Ellis tries to settle. And it's a Dynamo thrown on the far side. First opportunity for Jalil Anibaba. So my guess was wrong. Anibaba will play left back. Williams will stay at his right back position. Anibaba came into this league as a center back, played with Kansas City last year. Here's Rocha trying his luck from 35 yards. Can falls on it to his right. The back four for the Dynamo in the quarterfinals against Kansas City last year was Sarkodie at right back, David Horst, and A.J. Cochran center backs, rookie Taylor Hunter at left back, a natural center back. Non-ideal lineup to defend 10 versus 11 for 60 minutes on the road. And Kansas City broke through with 3 in the final 20 minutes for the victory. Good read by Anibaba, who played 90 minutes at Portland on Sunday. Lima for Miranda. Ellis tracking back. Good run from Manotas. Can Manotas get there? He gets there in front of Can. Can he find the angle? And it's off the post. Would have been spectacular for Manotas. And would have been number 2 on the night for the Colombian. But off the front of the post from an impossible angle. And a foul results in a Kansas City free kick as we see a replay. Wonderfully timed run from Manotas. Soft touch, left-footed finish, and he deserved a goal there. He scored on his first chance, missed with his second on the left foot. That one would have been huge for the Dynamo as Rubio tries a cheeky touch in the path of Zusi and the offside flag comes up. You have to like the performance of Mara Manotas, 48 minutes and 4 chances. One was blocked, one he scored, one he pulled wide. That one hit the post. And the timing of that run to get him behind Ellis. Well, let's restart after the offside from Kansas City. Morrow wins the header. Ellis good strength against Miranda. Espinosa wide to Connor Hallisey. It looks like Kansas City has flip-flopped a wingers, at least for the start of this half. Zusi on this left side, Hallisey on the right. Hallisey really had a good first half, getting in behind Williams. Now it's Madranda. Perhaps it's just Peter Vermees putting 2 of his better attacking options on the same side, with Madranda very skilled to coming forward from his left back position, and Zusi, a veteran for this Kansas City team. Madranda drives it in. Great strength from Horst. He draws the foul after he held off Rubio. So Horst expecting that low cross from Madranda. And a good strength from the Dynamo captain. Second time he's worn the armband, both in the Open Cup, also in the round of 16 last year against Colorado. Willis takes his time, puts it back into play as we enter the 51st minute. Lima with a missed settle. Espinosa wide for Connor Hallisey, the Cal product. Again, the Dynamo with good numbers behind the ball, and Anibaba does enough. Here's Beasler. First game back with Kansas City. Played 90 minutes at left back for the U.S. against Colombia on Saturday. It's been that sort of night for Kansas City. They've created chances, but some of their spells of possession have ended with a ball like that. 30 or 40 yards on a switch. Just a bit off, resulting in a Dynamo throw-in. Anibaba, 17 appearances across all competitions for Kansas City last year. 1 goal, 4 assists. Signed with the Dynamo this offseason. Been basically the team starting right back, but he comes in at left back in place of Abdoulaye Mansali. Good work from Rocha. First went down, then got up, made a second challenge on Feilhaber. Little nutmeg for Maidana against Zusi. Wade Barrett has to be pleased with the effort from his team. Bouncing back from Portland on Sunday. Many new players in the team, but the work rate's been there. It was 90 degrees at kickoff with significant humidity. We had a cooling break around the 30-minute mark. Good layoff from Zusi. Feilhaber right back to him. Here's Feilhaber, dangerous from this distance. Good block from Horst. He covered the passing lane as Feilhaber tried to find Rubio. Now a switching ball from Lima. Minota slides to keep it in. May have used his hand, but the ball rolls over the end line, or the sideline, I should say, for a throw-in. That's a confident forward, Mar Minotas. A goal in the first half, one off the front of the near post from a tough angle at the start of this second half. Now Beasler. Horst. Good deft touch to Williams. It's a Houston throw-in. Heavy touch from Maidana. Horst, a lot of contact against Rubio as he concedes the throw-in. Five total seasons with Sporting Club in Portugal. Also some loans to Romania and Norway for Rubio. The number 9 for Kansas City. Feilhaber, well defended by the Dynamo. That was Lima and Rocha working together to negate Feilhaber. Now here's Lima, good speed burst through the middle, but a better recovery. That's Sony Mustavar. This has been a very good game. 22nd game in all competitions between these teams since 2011. We've seen some very defensive battles. This one, while it's only 1-0, has been pretty open. There's been some good soccer. Here's Maidana. Well-weighted pass. Minotas! And again, coming close. That time a great save from Alec Can. But Kansas City has no answer from the 20-year-old Colombian. Beautifully curled run from Minotas. Perfectly weighted pass. That time it was Minotas getting away from Olam. Going away from goal, still generating that much power. And Can making a fine save. Mar Minotas, as I said in the first half, his younger brother, 11-year-old Christian, is in attendance, wearing his older brother's jersey. And Mauro putting on a show. Rocha, good ball towards the near post, kept alive by Wenger, and it's put home! Alex Lima and the Dynamo with a 2-0 lead over the reigning champions. David Rocha, dangerous with his set-piece delivery against San Antonio a couple weeks ago. He starts this set piece, and it results in a crucial second goal. Well hit to the near post. Great effort from Wenger to keep it alive, and somehow Lima gets the power on that. Going away from goal, the Brazilian finding that back corner of the net, and Can maybe just a bit out of position, but tough to fault the goalkeeper there. Wonderful goal from Lima. Lima, his second goal in as many Open Cup games, as he scored the second goal at the end of the first half against San Antonio. Well, now Kansas City under some pressure. Twice winners of this competition in the last 4 seasons. And they have a 2-goal deficit on the road against one of their biggest rivals. Madranda towards the middle. It skipped off the post and stayed out. That was Feilhaber. And I think the offside flag came up. He is so good at that, arriving late from midfield and keeping the ball down. Wonderful skill from Feilhaber on the short hop to keep that on target. As Madranda to the top of the box. It's not necessarily on target, but just to keep it down. Seemed like it may have deflected off the post from our first angle, but off the replay just seemed to stay wide. As Kansas City looked for an instant response. 2-0 Houston. Manotas in the 7th minute. A moment ago, Alex Lima. The result of a David Rocha set piece and really good work rate from Wenger, lunging at the end line to keep the ball alive, heading it back across goal. And Brad Davis set to come on against his former team, his second return home to Houston. He started on May 7th, the Dynamo win. Here he comes on for Mustavar. Captain for the last few seasons, all-time games, starts, minutes, and assists leader with Houston. Most ever playoff games for the Dynamo. And now he's wearing the sporting blue as a second half substitute. Dummy that time for Manotas, wins it back. Left by a shot from Rocha after it was left by Maidana and blocked in the end by Kevin Ellis. Hallisey, switching ball for Davis on this left side. Running at Shannon Williams. Espinosa on the ground, Zusi. A good thought from Zusi, but Davis was pulling back. Now Davis set for the throw-in. Davis with some space. Williams in retreat. 3 in the box now for Kansas City. Davis to the top of the box, settled Zusi. Great block by Anibaba against his old team. And the flag came up in the end, I think, on Zusi as the run's recycled. So Anibaba, a halftime substitute for Mansali. Vital block as Zusi had time to settle and line it up. Really good pass from Davis against his old team. Good block from Jalil Anibaba, 6th-year MLS veteran. Philadelphia, which fell behind at home 1-0 against the New York Red Bulls, have gone in front of their East Coast rivals. Chris Pontius, 2 goals in a 5-minute span in the second half. It's 2-1 Union, 68th minute, as they try to get back to the Open Cup final. Here comes Hallisey. Diego Rubio against Anibaba. Another block, and it's Davis against his old team. It fell right into the penalty area. Diego Rubio creating the goal, and Kansas City has a goal back. Davis, his first Open Cup goal for Sporting Kansas City. No celebration from the former Dynamo man. Good instinct from Davis, just cutting inside, right place at the right time, but he knew where that place could be. And behind the plate, Agus Garcia is down for the Dynamo. So a champion-type response from Kansas City. They give up a second goal, but they come right back, and they cut the deficit in half within 5 minutes. It's 2-1 here in Houston. And Rubio created that havoc as Agus isn't moving much down in the defensive half for Houston. Ani Baba went down for the block, deflected it, but the ball made it into the 6-yard area. No clearance from Willis. And then Williams did not track Davis well enough. And a simple finish for Davis, who somewhat ironically has 2 goals in the regular season for Kansas City, but no assists. Of course, third most assists in league history, but yet to find an assist for Kansas City. A couple beautiful goals in MLS play for Sporting KC, and that one an opportunistic finish, a veteran finish, just anticipating that cross, making it through. And now we have what is in effect a hydration break as Agus receives treatment from Rory Blevins, the assistant trainer for the Houston Dynamo. Rubio could have scored in the first half. A wonderful save by Willis moving to his left. That time he sets up Davis. And Davis, just a few minutes after coming into this game, breathes life into things for Kansas City. 3 minutes after entering for Mustavar, and the move pays off for Peter Vermees and Sporting KC. The Dynamo need some self-belief. They need some confidence. They led 2-0 this weekend into the second half in Portland. 3 goals in the final 30 minutes for Portland. The Dynamo in 16 MLS games this year. They've had 9 second half leads. They've been unable to hold 6 of them, with 6 of the 9 resulting in a tie or a loss. Here we go, back in play as Horst shifts to center back. Ani Baba, center back partner. Horst mixing it up with Rubio. Alex Lima has dropped to left back as they treat Agus Garcia on the far side. He's going to re-enter this game, and Alan Chapman talks with the 23-year-old Chilean Diego Rubio. One final warning from Chapman for Rubio. Who is nearing the end of his loan with Sporting KC, but as reported in the Kansas City Star, positive negotiations between Sporting KC and his parent club Real Valladolid in Spain. Now Rubio goes down. Horst, a sarcastic clap towards him as these rivals mix it up. 3 straight playoff meetings, 2011-13. This is the 2nd straight Open Cup encounter. The Dynamo trying to get retribution after Kansas City knocked the Dynamo out at home in the quarterfinals. Kansas City allowed 2 goals in the Open Cup only once last year as Davis clips it over the top. Good anticipation from Willis, comes off his line in front of Espinosa. The only time they allowed 2 goals last year was in their 6-2 win over FC Dallas, as Dom Dwyer scored 4 times. Kansas City has struggled to score goals this year in the regular season. 18 goals in 18 games, just 1 goal per game. The Dynamo with 22 through 16 games. Kansas City has allowed 20, the Dynamo 25. Rubio with Davis. Espinosa towards the middle. And Lima chops down Rubio. And he'll escape a booking. That was a hard challenge. But Chapman, perhaps feeling the sense of the game, does not go to his book. It may have looked harder than it was just with the speed Rubio was running through the midfield. And now Colin Warner is going to enter this game. He's going to replace Chaco Maidana. Warner, 90 exhausting minutes in Portland on Sunday, comes on in the 67th minute for Maidana, who was a substitute for Wade Barrett on Sunday. So the second change made by Barrett after Anibaba replaced Mansally at halftime. And one sub left for Wade Barrett. Now Davis standing over a set piece, as he did so many times at BBVA Compass Stadium in the last 4 years. Of course, scored the opening goal at this stadium in May of 2012. Here's Davis with the delivery towards the spot, clearing header from Wenger, although it goes out for a corner kick for Sporting KC. And the Dynamo suddenly on the back foot after looking so good to start the second half and grabbing a 2-0 lead through Alex Lima. We said a championship response from Kansas City. And want to go down swinging if they do go down tonight. Davis towards the near post. Willis, a confident claim. Manotas wants it. He's asking for it from Willis, the big goalkeeper. The big punt. It's Beasler against Manotas. And a Dynamo throw-in. Davis cutting inside towards the center of midfield. Feilhaber over the top looking for Rubio. Well defended by Horst. Second ball won by Graham Zusi. Far side, it's Connor Hallisey for Sporting KC. 69th minute, Dynamo 2, Kansas City 1. The last two times Kansas City has lost in this competition has been at home. Portland Timbers, round of 16 and 14. And then 2013 against Orlando City SC, which was Sporting KC's USL affiliate at the time. They lost at home as well. So Kansas City's won the big games when they've had to on the road the last couple seasons, including the final at Philadelphia last year. Madronda. Wenger does well tracking back. Now it's Davis against Rocha. Davis near the corner, has 5 in the box, and instead pulls it back for Feilhaber. Madronda, clever ball. Feilhaber trying to get there, and Willis off his line to make the claim. And Willis talking to Feilhaber after the play. May have been something left in by Feilhaber, who points towards Williams. Williams went shoulder to shoulder against Feilhaber. It's a wonderful ball from Madronda. It's right near the spot where Portland earned the decisive penalty in stoppage time on Sunday for a 3-2 win. What looked like a poor call as Willis got the ball first. And Milano went tumbling. Zusi, wide right for Kevin Ellis. This is a really good game in Houston. 70th minute, the Dynamo looking to bounce their longtime rivals in the Open Cup. Kansas City trying to defend the title. Won by Manotas, bounces away from Espinosa. Here's Manotas, inside Lima. Lima spins, goes down top of the box. Ref lets them play. David Rocha goes down. Here's Miranda, and he skies it from 23 yards. some contact, edge of the box. Beasler got away with 2 challenges there. The first one looked like he got the legs of Lima. Second one, maybe on the back legs of Rocha, but Chapman was in good position. And during the replay, Dom Dwyer came on for Diego Rubio. So an energetic 71 minutes from the young Chilean, Diego Rubio. Now it's Dom Dwyer, a Dynamo nemesis for years, in for the final 20 minutes. Good tackle from Miranda. Here's Wenger. Game opening up once again. Good tackle from Madronda. A left extended leg. And now it's a throw-in for Kansas City as it skipped off Wenger on its way out. Dom Dwyer, 6 goals in his last 8 appearances against the Dynamo. Did not score when these teams met in May, but scored the winning goal last year after Feilhaber equalized 71st minute. 86th minute, Dwyer made it 2-1. Christian Nemeth added 1 2 minutes later, a 3-1 quarterfinal win for Sporting KC. And Dwyer has to be confident, scored twice this weekend in Montreal. His 7th and 8th goals of the season as Kansas City drew with the Impact 2-2. Here's Davis, has been good since coming on. Brad Davis, edge of the box, everyone backpedaling and the flag comes up. Espinosa was offside. So the Dynamo just a very different posture and body language since Kansas City's goal from Brad Davis. Even in that first half, when Kansas City really had possession the last 10 or 15 minutes, Dynamo still seemed confident and organized. A different feeling since the goal from Davis. Beasler wins the header over Wenger. Good settle from Feilhaber. Zusi with Espinosa. Espinosa, a good switch for Connor Hallisey. Ellis is overlapping. Hallisey, not enough weight on that one for Davis, but Davis shoulder barge against Williams. Here's Davis. Numbers in the box for KC. Horst able to clear. Madronda reclaims it. He's dangerous in this part of the field. Dynamo with all 10 field players behind the ball. Feilhaber, good win against Lima. Slips a pass for Zusi. Back to Ellis. Zusi, a lot of blue shirts in there. To the back post, and Davis. His shot was blocked by Wenger. Davis had time to size it up on that left foot, looking for his 2nd goal in this second half against his old team. Davis standing over this corner kick. Towards the spot. Good clearing header from Agus under pressure from Ellis. And a foul called. Davis, 104 regular season assists in his 10 years with the Dynamo. Traded to Kansas City in January. Wanted to get back closer to his hometown of St. Louis. As Lima adjusts his shoe. Davis in MLS play with Kansas City. 14 appearances, 9 starts, a couple goals. Came off the bench in the Open Cup against Minnesota, played the last 30 minutes, the entire extra time period. A late substitute in stoppage time at Montreal on the weekend. In his 15th MLS year, Brad Davis, 382 appearances in MLS, 2nd most among field players, only Kyle Beckerman with more. The Dynamo can't seem to get sustained possession in the offensive half since that second goal. I think Kansas City's been better in the air of late. Dynamo just getting numbers behind the ball, absorbing the pressure. Philadelphia continues to lead 2-1 over the Red Bulls. 2 second-half goals from Chris Pontius. Orlando 1, Fort Lauderdale 1. New York Cosmos lead New England 1-0, looking for their second straight upset, as Boniek Garcia comes on for Andrew Wenger. So Wenger goes 77 minutes after going about the same distance on the weekend at Portland, and then Boniek, who played 90 quality minutes at Portland, had 2 assists. He comes on to try to see this game out. Boniek's been in a good spell. He drew 6 fouls against DC United, second most in his Dynamo career, and then assisted on both first-half goals to Wenger and Bruin. Maybe a renewed energy under Wade Barrett, who's put confidence in him. He's got more starts than he typically did under Owen Coyle. Good burst here from Espinosa, but his cross let him down in the end. Had options with Dwyer, and then Zusi and Hallisey further behind. FC Dallas in Colorado scoreless through 11 minutes at FC Dallas. Olam does enough on the clearance after Can came off his line. This is better from the Dynamo. Pressure higher up the field. Warner, second half substitute. And Ellis does well to spin out of it. Dynamo out of substitutions. Peter Vermees with one more available. Good win from Warner. Here comes Lima, has Manotas. Instead picks out Warner. Warner, poor cross on his left foot, tried to pull it back to Lima. The Brazilian wins it back anyway. And then he runs into Olam. Chapman saw nothing wrong with the tackle. And the Dynamo feeling hard done the last few minutes, have not got a call from Chapman. It was the big sequence about 5 minutes ago when Beasler was involved with 2 challenges. Whew. Some hands out from Olam. You could say Lima went down a little bit easily, but extended arms in the box from Olam, as Lima tried to cut by, and Olam has his hands on his hips right now. The 31-year-old Kenyan perhaps feeling it a bit. He's played a lot lately, 90 minutes at Montreal on Saturday. Also played 90 minutes in the Open Cup a couple weeks ago. Many of the players that played full-time on Saturday might go the distance here 4 days later for Kansas City. Warner for Manotas, nearly spun away from Beasler. And Beasler does well to recover. Now body's starting to fly more. Warner got Espinosa. This is getting very chippy here at BBVA Compass Stadium. '80th minute, the Dynamo 2, Sporting Kansas City 1. It was Mara Manotas in the 7th minute. Alex Lima, a impressive header in the 55th minute. And then Brad Davis, a tap in against his old team after a good run from Diego Rubio. That's where we stand. The Dynamo trying to get payback after Kansas City ended the Dynamo's Open Cup dreams last year in the quarterfinals. Kansas City, as Warner deflects it. Willis started, then he retreated, and it's a corner kick. So Joe Willis thought he could go get that, then he thought better of it, and Espinosa wins a corner kick. Davis standing over it once again. Hallisey over as a short option. Anibaba is on Espinosa in the box. Agus ready to track Dom Dwyer. Horst is on Olam. Here comes Willis, gets a punch on it, falls to Feilhaber. Dangerous from here. Lima, good defending, just stood him up. But then Feilhaber keeps it alive again, and Agus clears. Boniek's first couple touches, you see the form he's in, spins away from Dom Dwyer. Here come the Dynamo. Boniek has options. Rocha and Manotas. He went for the more risky pass, and good defending from Hallisey, who cuts it down. Just a great game here in Houston. 81st minute, 2-1. Seen some great playoff battles between these teams. Now an Open Cup battle. Boniek for Warner. Manotas does so well to keep it alive. Then he stays onside. Boniek picks it up and his pass is off. He tried to switch the field for Miranda. Did not get the angle right, and Can makes the catch top of the box. We've seen so much from Manotas tonight. That time it was strength right at midfield, taking a shot to his hip and keeping the ball alive. Olam. Good chipped ball for Zusi. Dynamo with pretty good shape in the back. Under the feet of Espinosa. And now Lima over the top. Manotas will not run after this one. Espinosa, full time this weekend, played all 120 minutes against Minnesota 2 weeks ago. And Dwyer knew he was offside as Espinosa played it through. Espinosa shouting towards his head coach, Peter Vermees. You can see how much it means to these teams. Kansas City proud holders of the Open Cup trophy. But a goal behind here in Houston. Crowd coming to life. An early kickoff here, 6 p.m. in Houston. As a private event was previously booked at the stadium. Boniek towards the middle. Here's David Rocha away from Espinosa. Hard tackle from Ellis as Rocha may have taken just a little bit too long. Now it's Warner trying to track down Espinosa, the Honduran, towards the corner. And Agus gets there ahead of Connor Hallisey. Throw in Kansas City, 83rd minute. One change left for Peter Vermees in Kansas City. Nothing looks imminent. The available sub standing behind the corner flag. Zusi away from Colin Warner. Decent ball, but it's caught by Willis. Dwyer and Hallisey the targets. Here comes Rocha. A very open second half here, similar to Portland on Sunday. This is 4 versus 4. Lima has Manotas. And Miranda, we'll see if he takes it to the corner to kill some time, or if the Dynamo go for that decisive third goal. Here's Warner. Good switch, has Boniek, isolated versus Madronda. David Rocha. Boniek finds Manotas, great touch, it's Manotas! And he has his second! What a moment for the Colombian. What a pass from Boniek. Wonderful first touch from Manotas. And with his younger brother in the house, he restores Houston's 2-goal lead. It's Boniek the playmaker. Manotas a strong finish past Can. A full effort from Manotas, who would have had a hat trick if his effort early in this half hadn't kissed off the front of the post. 2 for the 20-year-olds, and the Dynamo now have the champions on the ropes. 3-1 Houston. Boniek Garcia providing that spark they needed. The Dynamo looked very quiet for about a 15-minute spell. But Boniek, 2 assists on Sunday, has looked flat out rejuvenated under Wade Barrett. And he makes the final pass for Manotas, who had to stretch to get to it, but got behind Beasler. And then a confident goal scorer's finish past Can. 3-1. And Davis is offside on this near side. The first goal for Manotas, he pointed towards someone in the stands, presumably his younger brother. As Joe Willis has shown a yellow card for time wasting from Alan Chapman. He was seen a couple hours before the game, giving his brother a tour of the stadium, both wearing baseball caps. The younger Manotas wearing number 19 Dynamo jersey with his last name on the back. One of the great things about the Open Cup, the opportunity it presents for younger players in moments like that. It's 3-1. 3 goals in 2 Open Cup games now for Manotas. And the Dynamo with a grand opportunity for a big win against a longtime rival. Now it's Rocha making a delayed run. Miranda gets it there on the second time. Can the Dynamo find a fourth? Miranda into the box, trying to backheel. And Davis working hard in his own defensive area to break up the attack. The winner of this game will host the quarterfinal against the winner of tonight's match between FC Dallas and the Colorado Rapids. Williams holds off Espinosa. Espinosa tries to win it back, then he kicks it after the fact. Williams gets in the face of Espinosa. And now Dwyer breaks things up. It wasn't called at the time, as Espinosa has shown a yellow card. But Espinosa, a hand to the face. Most would call it a punch against Brad Davis last year in this game, the quarterfinal tie. It went uncalled. Feisty Honduran Roger Espinosa, a few years at Wigan in England. But a big part, as Kansas City has won this trophy twice in the last 4 years. Dynamo can taste it now. They need to see this out. They had a 2-goal lead against Kansas City in the regular season, a halftime lead which they held for a 2-0 win. And now a 2-goal lead once again after Manotas found his second of the night. Boniek hides out Feilhaber's challenge. Wide to Miranda. Manotas pulls out wide on this right side. Making a run, changing his run. Lima back to Miranda. Here's Rocha! And he could not keep it down. Great chance for his first Dynamo goal. Sensational buildup from Houston. Some unselfish passing. And Rocha should do better from there. That's 16 yards out. On a platter, Canantes can. Anibaba finds Miranda. The Dynamo very good since the goal. And now Miranda draws a foul from Feilhaber. Rocha or Agus. I've not seen Agus take a free kick with the Dynamo. He won't here. And Rocha pulls it wide from about 30 yards. 2 Spaniards, both in their first season, standing over that free kick for the Dynamo. We are now in second half stoppage time. Well hit by Rocha, but a few yards wide of the near post. Good header from Anibaba. Ellis there in front of Miranda. Kansas City's last road loss in the Open Cup way back in 2009. They lost at Seattle in the quarterfinals, a 1-0 defeat. Here's Rocha. Boniek, top of the box. Boniek, good dribbling. Gets back up. Lima takes it from him. Miranda back to Rocha. Chip ball. Manotas on a hat trick will slow things down. Then Lima chips it towards the back post. Dynamo, so much confidence in the attacking penalty area, maybe too much, as they try to pass their way to goal. Boniek dribbling past two, and then Lima sees the ball. Hallisey targeting Davis. Horst with a half clearance. Davis back to Connor Hallisey. Back ball post, ball to the back post, I should say, and that time Willis read it well, and Williams tracked Dom Dwyer. We're gonna have 3 minutes added on here at the end of the second half. One final in the Open Cup. Philadelphia has pulled off the comeback. They beat the Red Bulls 2-1. Chris Pontius twice scoring in the second half. As Beasler goes direct, can Dwyer get there? He does. Davis lurking near the back post once again. Hallisey, tons of space, and another good block from Jalil Anibaba. Pretty good half from him off the bench, his second vital block. Medranda switching ball. Dwyer. Not his best. Dwyer, 4 goals against FC Dallas at this stage last year. Tied for Kansas City's US Open Cup goal scoring record with Davy Arno, Christian Nemeth, CJ Sapong, and Igor Sibutenkov. Of course, the game winner against the Dynamo in the quarterfinals last year. New York Cosmos continue to lead New England Revolution 2-1. Orlando City and Fort Lauderdale tied 1-1. But the Cosmos, after beating NYCFC for the second straight year last round, have an opportunity to make it 2 straight MLS scalps. There is our full-time whistle. The Dynamo send the champions home. A hard-working effort. 2 goals from Mauro Manotas. And the full-time score from BBVA Compass Stadium. It's the Houston Dynamo 3, Kansas City 1. Kansas City has thrived at home in their last 2 Open Cup runs. They've got the wins on the road when they needed it. But on a hot night here in Houston, an early goal from Manotas, and the Dynamo saw it out the rest of the way. Another chapter is added to the Dynamo Sporting Kansas City rivalry, and Mauro Manotas adding his name to the book. 2 for the 20-year-olds. The Dynamo took a return shot from their former captain, Brad Davis, and a nervous 10 or 15 minutes. But in the end, second half goals from Alex Lima and Manotas' second were the difference. Wonderful game here in Houston on a hot night, and a good display for the US Open Cup. Our producer has been Brock Jessel. I am Matt Peterson, thanking you for tuning in. The quarterfinals will be here in Houston, July 19th or 20th. The Dynamo hosting the winner of tonight's game, FC Dallas and Colorado Rapids. That game is available on the US Soccer YouTube page. The winner of that game comes to Houston next month. Final score from Houston, 2 from Manotas, 1 from Alex, and the Dynamo end the run of the reigning champions. It's the Dynamo 3, Sporting Kansas City 1.
My first ever goal was to become a professional player. It's something I dreamed of as a kid. Coming out of the tunnel for the first time, it was incredible. The only thing I think about was trying to find my dad in the crowd. That was my way of settling my nerves. He's my mentor, my hero. It was that moment that I realized this is my dream and this is my chance to grasp it.
They're prehistoric. They've been extinct for millions of years. They're at the Houston Zoo this summer. Dinosaurs at the Houston Zoo. Journey back in time and come face to face with these massive creatures, from the feathered Utahraptor and towering Brachiosaurus to the mighty T-Rex. These dinosaurs move, roar, and even spit water. For details, go to houstonzoo.org and hurry to the Houston Zoo this summer before this exhibit goes extinct.
Rising before the sun is easy when you love your work. It's done every day by the thousands of electricians at the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Local 716. We train hard, show up on time, and feel responsible for the work we do. We live by our word. There are no excuses, because customers and Houston's community deserve that. IBEW, where skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor isn't all that skilled. The time is now to hire IBEW electricians.
At CenterPoint Energy, we're giving you more tips on natural gas safety.
Before digging in my yard, I always call 811 to have my utility lines marked to avoid service interruptions or injury. It's better to call 811 now than 911 later. And if I ever suspect a gas leak, I leave the area immediately, and then I call CenterPoint Energy and 911 from a safe, remote location. Really?
Your safety is in your hands and always on our mind, because you are at the center of everything we do. CenterPoint Energy. Always there.